Hi guys, welcome to Into Fly Fishing. My name is Pierre Hubert and welcome to our in-depth review of the Echo Shadow 2 2-weight 10-foot rod. As a disclaimer, I just want to mention that I'm in no way affiliated or sponsored by Echo. This is my own personal rod that I bought more than a year ago. The Echo Shadow 2 that I have, I mainly use on small trout rivers close to Cape Town. The rivers are no more than 40 feet wide, but mainly range between 10 and 25 feet. The fish range between 6 to 14 to 15 inches, so they're not that large. So the rod is really used on small to medium sized fish. I generally fish at distances between 10 to 30 or 40 feet, so no distance casting is used. I also make use of a single or two flies at the most. Let's first have a look at the components on the rod. Here at the back you've got a black anodized up-locking aluminum reel seat with a laser engraved mayfly imitation. On the larger models, the 3 and the 4 weight in the range, the butt cap can unscrew and you can insert a longer fighting butt with weights, allowing you to balance the rod a little bit better. For the grip, you've got a cork grip of acceptable quality. It's not the best in the business, as mentioned in our article, but it hasn't let me down and there's no parts that have broken out at all. In the front and at the back of the grip, you've got rubberized cork that just adds to the durability and longevity of the cork grip. Right in front of the cork grip, you've got a hook keep. I generally don't use this hook keep, as with these 10-foot nymphing rods I use a very long leader, so I wrap that leader around my reel and hook it up somewhere here on one of the line guides. The finish of the rod blank is something that I really appreciate. It's a black matte finish that gives the rod a very stealth-like look. The main idea behind this is to minimize rod glare when you're fishing on very clear rivers on very sunny days. On the line guide side, one of my favorite features on the rod is that the first line guide is positioned on the butt section of the rod. That helps with eliminating line slack when tight line nymphing. The rest of the guides are all single foot silicon carbide line guides finished in black, which adds to the stealth-like look of the rod. Out of a pure aesthetic point of view, I feel that the clear coat could have been done a little bit cleaner and more professional. Here on the winding check, there's evidence of bubbles in the resin, and the clear coat hasn't been applied perfectly over all the line guides. So let's talk about casting the rod. With the rod, I usually use a 20-foot leader. That includes a leader and 1 or 2 flies. So the distance between my rod tip or the end of the line and my point fly would be 20 feet. So at a cast of 20 feet, with a rod that's 10 feet long, you'll have approximately 10 feet of your leader out of the rod tip. That's neglecting the amount of reach that you have while casting and so forth. So this distance is what I mainly use, especially on cascading types of water. Sometimes I also use that distance on pocket water as well. I feel that the rod really performs well in this regard at this distance and is able to deliver a single or 2 flies very accurately. At 30 feet, the complete 20-foot leader is just out of the rod tip. At this distance, I find the rod delivers 2 flies very easily and accurately and turns over even just a pure monofilament leader very easily. I've even had or guided clients that picked this up within a couple of minutes, and we were landing fish within the first hour. At 40 feet, there's about 10 foot of the fly line out of the rod tip. This would be the maximum distance that I'll fish this rod with, because anything further than that, I feel that the accuracy becomes a little bit vague. The rod still makes it easy to deliver that amount of line, and the extra distance makes it easy to control, mend, and to minimize drag on your flies. At 60 feet, I generally won't use a 20-foot leader. I would drop it down to about 12 feet with a single or a double fly, that's fine. So with the 12-foot leader and the 10-foot rod, it equates to about 38 feet of fly line out of the rod tip. This distance, the rod can get the job done. However, the accuracy feels a little bit vague. So what are my favorite things about this rod? Well, first, as I mentioned earlier, the first stripper guide on the butt section of the rod really makes a difference, especially when managing line on the water. One of my other favorite things is the matte finish that prevents glare. And my third favorite thing is obviously the good price. It's really value for money and offers any angler a good option to get involved into tightline or European nymphing techniques. And on the con side, the rod's finish isn't necessarily the best in the world, but that's fine if you look at the price and the value of the rod, and it really doesn't affect the performance at all. The other concern that I have is in the first year I did break a rod tip while fishing, and also Echo does mention that they do recommend carrying a spare tip section while fishing. This rod is perfect for the beginner or experienced angler that wants to get involved in European nymphing techniques. It's also a very good rod to keep as a backup if you're an existing competition or Euro nymphing angler. If you enjoyed the video, please like it and subscribe to our channel. Also feel free to share it with your fellow anglers and friends. You can find the link to our blog post as well as the purchase link down below. Until we see each other again, cheers.